Hello scribes, today is a new day and I have 5 rules for feedback etiquette that I want to share with you because, well, I've been on both sides and when you get it wrong, it sucks for everyone. So let's cut this cycle of potentially damaging critiquing and be nice to other writers. After all, that's what writing is all about, sharing stories. Well, I hope you've been writing. I also hope you've been reading. Reading other people's scripts can be a turnoff sometimes, I get it. You'd rather spend the time perfecting your own amazing script or novel. Plus, let's be real, sometimes we're not into the script we've been given. We're working in a totally biased field, so don't feel any pressure to say no to people. We expect to be perfectly blown away, and if it's less than, we're usually not interested. But guess what? Your script could be better if you knew some things that people might be getting wrong, just like you. And that's why it's so important to really give good feedback so that you can keep reading those really great scripts, or you can keep helping the people who were at a place you were at, just like them. So here we go. Here are 5 things I make sure to do when I've accepted to read someone's script or novel. Use if-then statements. So making an if-then statement would basically be, if you added Karen talking about her ex-boyfriend, and then we get to him in the second act, it would really elevate it when she bumps into him in the hot tub if we had already heard some scenarios from how bad of a boyfriend he was. Yeah, that was a bogus scene that I made up, so. The point is, I like to try to suggest things rather than just say, Karen's backstory was weak and leave it at that. The point is, by saying, if Karen did this, then this part of Karen's backstory would be elevated, you are now kind of giving them a little bit more to think about as in terms of putting more meat into their script. I mean, I don't mean to tell them how to write the script, but I think that hopefully some idyllic changes can jog up new ideas for them to rework a scene. The next thing I usually like to do is provoke thought. I like to ask questions to provoke clarity, but I also like to make them come up with the answers. Don't feed it to them. It's their characters, they know them the best. Sometimes I try to question why they went a certain way, like toward humor when I thought it would mostly be a dramatic take on a scene. The next thing I want to really drive home is to stay objective. You'll hear this time and time again, and I couple staying objective with reading things that genuinely interest me. But as biased as we may be, think outside of your scope when you are reading something that you aren't generally interested in. Who would watch this? And does the structure work? I mean, this may not be professionally covered, but which is mostly preferred because they have a set of guidelines that really analyze a script from tone to structure. Feel free to comment on some of those things that they would be referencing in that. I mean, this is a business after all, and you do have to think about those things. Don't forget the positives. That's the next most important thing. I mean, there's a lot of important things, but sometimes we think asking for feedback is like saying, hey, I need you to rip this apart and burn my story to the ground so I can become a phoenix and rise through the ashes of a great story that I always had in me. No, stop, please don't take this invite as a reason to bash, overanalyze, pick clean all the efforts of a writer's work. Remember, there are multiple passes you're gonna do on any piece of writing. Imagine that this is just one pass that they've really developed their dialogue well on. Let them know that. But let them know if there's any other issues. Have they given us a really interesting premise? What about the characters? Are they crafted well enough to be likable? Make small, detailed notes on that. Make an effort to find the gems though. I don't want you to force it, but at least find 10 things to comment on positively. Generally, I write these first because by the time they've read through the negatives, they're pretty deflated, and when they get to the positives, they're not excited. So really try to drive home those positives before you even get into the negatives. Okay, let's go back to reading what you like. I can't stress it enough. Read what you like. I make it a point to ask generally what the page count is, what the genre is, and if I could know what the logline is beforehand, just so I can tell someone if I've got expertise in that area, if I'm the kind of person that would read it or enjoy it, and I even sometimes ask for reference movies. It's not to be picky, truly. It's because I want to give feedback on things I personally have watched that are similar to it and give them a really good fresh take on it. Have I seen it in the industry? Is it something that I've experienced? I want to give my best notes, and genres have very particular followers. So just keep that in mind. Know the genres you write or watch and try to stick to reading those. If you're sort of like me, you can enjoy most anything, which is great. Take a crack at it. See if you found it hard to get through, and if you know that the genre isn't for you, just don't take any more reads like that. There's something wonderful about giving someone a script in a genre they enjoy and knowing it appeals to them, but even better than knowing that they're gonna give you relevant and valid points because they know the world that these types of movies are in and how they work. So that's why I bring this up. I hope this helped you understand a few of the best practices from my perspective on feedback, because it's really important, and I hope you use them, and let me know what other practices you use for giving feedback on writing. Write down in the comments. So I'll see you on the next one, scribes.